Very important to have female involvement in the sports world because as females, I feel like, we're used to the sports world being so male dominant. So just knowing that there's someone else in that position who's like us and can relate to us will, allow other young females and young girls to gravitate toward moving in the direction of becoming a part of the sports world because they feel comfortable knowing that someone else is there and they can learn and be inspired by what they're doing.
It is important for women to be recognized for their involvement in sports because they bring a unique perspective to what being an athlete means.
When I was younger, my dad used to take me to the Loyola University's Women in Sports Day event every year, and I always remember looking up to those women as athletes. I saw them as very strong people, not only physically but mentally.
The female athlete I looked up to while growing up was soccer player Carly Lloyd. I looked up to her because she's also from New Jersey, and when I was little I was really involved with soccer, and she was my inspiration as well as other members of the United States women's national team.
The athlete that I look up to now is Emma Coburn, who's an Olympic steeplechaser, and she inspired me to do the steeplechase, which enabled me to run in college.
Phrases such as "play like a girl" can be framed in a positive manner when they encourage the strength of female athletes rather than mock the possible weaknesses they could have.
Growing up, I hated the phrase "play like a girl" because I felt like it was used in a negative way, and it was said to boys when they were playing bad or playing timid, and it made girls seem like we weren't good enough. But I think over the years, women are proving how athletic and how powerful we can be, and so I think it's now becoming a positive phrase.
I'd say one of the biggest challenges that I faced as a player was just I had a very strong fear of failure, and that was always something that was really hard for me to deal with, that I had to work through often in more of my mental game of the sport.
Being an athlete taught me to be patient, first within my athletic career and waiting for success in that, but that carried over into my everyday life with relationships with friends and family.
Being an athlete has helped me develop a good work ethic that I not only need for my sport but for my goals in life.
Title IX has brought an awareness to the quality and relevance of women's sports. I feel that it also lends to support us in a much more realistic way. It's more of a comfortable environment for us to stand up for our concerns and for what we believe in, and quite frankly, for what we deserve.
Having female coaches and teammates has taught me that women are strong and powerful, and that together we can accomplish a lot.
They taught me how to believe in myself and to understand that girls are capable of doing anything that we set our minds to.
One way women's sports has changed over time is with the amount of media coverage that we have received. My sport in particular, fast pitch softball, has in the past decade exploded on the scene with the televising of the Women's College World Series. It's been an amazing thing to watch. These women get to showcase not only their talents, but the passion they have for the game and how hard they work to get to the level of the College World Series.
Everyone at this level can play, and then it comes down to who's going to put in the work to go from being the good player that made it to college to the great player that made a career. And the difference between those two players is the work ethic that goes into it.
It is important to have females in higher athletic roles, not only to have diversity and different mindsets, but to be an important contact for girls that are not in higher athletic roles.
It gives another outlet to females in terms of not just being here to do the physical part of the sports world, but also being a part of the business side of it, like owning a team or becoming a coach.
To be a voice and role model for other girls, and to mostly be a support to girls in every and any sport or position.
Being a woman in sports has been part of who I am It's been as long as I can remember who I identified with.
Because not too long ago, that wasn't an option up until the Title IX era.
It means equality, strength, and the opportunity for leadership and teamwork that will develop skills that I can apply to all aspects of my life.
Sometimes it's hard to be a woman in sports because you feel like you'll never be the strongest or the fastest out there.
Allows me to identify myself as not only a female, but rather a female athlete. It allows me to be a part of a community where I am surrounded by other strong women who love what I do.
I think it's given me a sense of pride and discipline that would have been hard to obtain if I never played a sport, and it's something that I carry with me through everything in my life.
Being a woman in sports means having to work twice as hard, as our achievement in the sport isn't always recognized and is often overlooked, but also proving to people that women are able to accomplish just as much as men are in the sport.
When I graduated college, there wasn't a tour at the time, so I left college with no ability to go professional, and I competed at the local level in the region. But when you do that in bowling, you're actually competing against the men. So I think to be a woman out there competing against the men is something that I'm really proud of. And I think it just goes to show that as long as you work hard and you put in the effort, you can be successful.
The world isn't as open to females being in the sports world. It's definitely a male-dominant industry, and I like the idea of taking on the challenge of showing the world and men that females like myself and other females can do whatever it is we put our minds to.
I also think it's given me the confidence to believe in myself and to understand that I can achieve any goal that I set, even when there's people telling me that I can't.
I feel so proud to be part of a group of women who are dedicated and passionate about competition and camaraderie and just being the best they can be, both physically and mentally.